Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from around the world, I welcome you to the Exceptional Conservative Show live from the nation's capital. We are not ashamed of the good news of conservatism, for it is the power of liberation. First to the Republican, and then to the socialist. We have to rephrase that tonight, because tonight is Thursday night, and on Thursday night we give you a gentleman, boys, and girls from around the world. Yeah, I'm so good. I want to hear myself twice. Thank you, Mary. Mary Brockman says this is her favorite shirt. Thank you. I'm dressed by my wife this evening, so I think I passed the exam. I want to thank y'all so much for tuning in. But let me just go ahead and go there. Mary Brockman is my bouncer. If you diss her, you diss me, and you will be dismissed. Just want to let you know that right off the bat. That's my girl. Don't play. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Thursday night, and on Thursday night, we rearrange the Exceptional Conservative Show, and we call it something better. It's New Day Black and Red. And on New Day Black and Red, I happen to be the peon in chief, the exceptional one, Ken McClinton, and the great one, the underground professor from undergroundprofessor.us, Dr. Michael Jones, takes the helm. And Lord have it, Claudia, love you. Glad to have you here. We give a constitutional as well as a spiritual viewpoint on current events and affairs of this particular day. So I'm really excited about today. This is the eve of the March for Life, and I will be marching tomorrow downtown. It's good to know that the White House, for the first time in many years, will be participating in the March for Life. I'm really excited by that. But I digress. Let me go back. New Day Black and Red gives you a fundamentally constitutional as well as spiritual viewpoint on today's affairs, events, and we take a look at how rightly fitted we can be in discovering God, as well as the Constitution and what we say, think, and do here in America. Yeah, Claudia says, I have an early morning tomorrow at the March 2 Pence. All right. I might see you down there, Claudia. I look forward to that. And the unfortunate thing for the March for Life is that you can count the number of black pastors that are down there. Literally, or about maybe one or two hands, you know. But I believe that that's all going to change in the next few years. With the guys, Lonnie Poindexter and Ralph Chittum's from the Right Guy Show and from the Right Way Show in the morning with Shannon and Mike, I feel with great thought that we're turning this nation around towards a more spiritual understanding of where God wants us to be. So I'm looking forward to the exciting March for Life, which will have twice as many people in town than the Women's March. Just saying. And we're all going down to the Supreme Court next Tuesday, I believe, or no, next Thursday. We'll know whom the great Donald Trump will be selecting as the Supreme Court Justice. At least that's what we believe. Now, you know how we get started before we call the professor. We do our Pledge of Allegiance. We take our right hand, we put it over our chest, our heart, okay, artificial or otherwise, and we pledge allegiance. For those who are watching via live stream, you got the big uns, and for those who are watching via Ustream, the little ones behind me, you can pledge allegiance to. People ask me, well, when you look forward, Ken, how come you're not? Well, there's something in the front of me, and I want you to know I am pledging allegiance as well. Let the kids lead us in the pledge this particular day. Kids, take it away.
Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
Lord have mercy, what a wonderful, wonderful thing it is to hear the kids do the Pledge of Allegiance. It really, to me, it touches my heart so glowingly. I just wanted to remind you as well that 60 million Americans since 1972 have not been able to say the Pledge of Allegiance. Just want to remind you of that. Ladies and gentlemen, let us contact the man who returned back to the air this particular evening. None other than the good doctor himself, Dr. Michael Jones. Let's see, you got that going there? Okay. Okay, we're gonna. Good evening, Dr. Jones. It's a pleasure, honor to have you on New Day Black and Red. Dr. Jones?
I'm sorry. I hit the wrong button because my phone was upside down and Hendon's in my lap. I was just talking about how concealed gun license owners commit crimes at about 10% the rate police officers commit crimes, and yet they treat us like the bad guys.
You know, can you feel me?
Yeah.
Now, I want to make note here, Professor. First and foremost, welcome back to the air. I believe you're broadcasting tonight.
Well, no one would know it because no one showed up.
Oh, well, they didn't.
Not that it hurt my feelings. Neither one of my feelings were hurt.
Neither one. Neither one. Oh, I do apologize.
Neither one.
Okay, so we're going to bring it down just a little bit. Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
All right, and so I do apologize for the fact that I wasn't there for you. I did not know that you had a show coming.
You're never here for me.
I am.
You don't even return my phone calls, let alone come to my radio show.
I am. It's amazing that you keep me as your peon in chief.
And you tell me. If it wasn't for Peaches, I wouldn't do it.
Oh, thank God for that affirmative action. Now, Claudia is asking out of the chat roll tonight, what time does it air? What time does your show come on?
Oh, well, let's see. Tuesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. God's time.
Tuesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. Satan's time, 7 p.m. God's time. That's right. And that's on.
You're close.
And that's on Blog Talk Radio. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that in the chat room for everybody. The Underground Professor and .us, and that way you can sign on board with him and Future Home or something cute. Okay, that didn't work.
Yes.
Okay, Underground Professor.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Somehow you're talking. Are you wearing a red shirt with gold suspenders?
Yes, I am.
Oh my God, that's so black of you.
Why can't I reach out to my folk? You know, every once in a while.
That actually hurt my eyes.
Listen, I want you to know I got the approval of Mary and Mrs. Biggs. See? They said I could wear this.
Oh, well, that's probably because it looks like an Urkel uniform.
I've been accused.
Yeah.
Oh, Professor.
Listen, I know you don't like me when I say it's God's time being Texas time, but do you realize the price of tickets for the Super Bowl? When Dallas was eliminated by Green Bay, the price of scalping tickets dropped 25%.
Wow.
Yeah, that number kind of floored me. I was like, are you serious? 25%? And that's because we're America's team.
But wait a minute.
And it's obvious the reason we lost is we didn't have as many felons as Green Bay had on their team.
What? Wait a minute.
Yeah. Calvin's Arena, I did put out reminders. I did the blog talk thing. And I even went on Twitter and sent out that I'm back.
Okay. Yes, Mary, and she heard you. But we're going to make certain.
That's fine. I didn't expect anybody to be here because, it's been a month. But, and I almost didn't do it again because Megan had to go in the hospital Tuesday night again.
Yeah.
At the emergency room, and they told her she was hours from dying from a procedure that had been done Tuesday morning on her.
Mm-hmm.
And it went bad. And so thoughts and prayers for Megan, if y'all will. And I've decided I just can't keep putting off the show because of all these things. So she's not in the emergency room now, so I decided to go ahead and do my show.
Excellent. Well, we're praying for her well-being and for her health and healing. And we ask God to continue to be with both of you. I know that she has it greatly tough, suffering it herself, but many people don't realize that those around them also suffer accordingly. So we're praying for both of you to be well and in recovery. God bless her and God bless you, sir. As we pray for their healing tonight, because it's a shared healing. When she feels good, when Mama feels good, everybody feels good. I don't know.
I'll tell you, when I hug her, I'm pretty sure she feels good.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
You know what I mean?
No, I'm not going there. I'm trying to be.
What?
I'm trying to stay above the fray. I want
goodness.
to see. I got my necktie on and my colored suspenders.
Are those designed for black people?
Designed for black people only. BPO.
At least they're not like mustard green looking.
Listen, Professor, before we go on, because we have a very big night tonight of conversation about defending the Second, the Fourth, and the Ninth and 10th Amendments under the Trump.
Where were you, by the way, for the last hour while I was waxing poetically about the violation of the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals of our Second and Fourth Amendment rights?
I let me tell you where I was. And for those who are following along at home, notice who's not in the chat room right now. Notice that Dave Milner, better known as the unpleasant blind guy, also known as Agador, is not in the chat room right now. Okay?
I noticed that.
Did you know
that? He'd be on my show too to show me support for coming on his show today.
Exactly. So he's not right here. Oh, well, let me just say this before I go on any further. I pray he's well. I hope everything's well with him and there's no ill harm or danger towards him. And if none of that is happening...
he just home and fell asleep.
Yeah, he probably did. Now, remember, over the past 6 weeks, I've been saying that I was going to go to Infused Restaurant and get a double bacon, double burger, exceptional, the exceptional one.
Exceptional burger.
Exactly. So what I want to show you all tonight, you see how big this thing is? This is the exceptional one.
Is that, you got the burger live on the air?
Live on the air. Here it is. And for those people who want to eat at Infused, you can go to the front page of the Exceptional Conservative Show, and you will see how to get there and all that other stuff. But I want to show you tonight, and I want to thank Christine Williams and Derek Williams and Chef Arnold and all the rest of them. What a wonderful place. I told you all that it was as big as my face. Take a look. There you go.
Oh, my God. Lift it up, Marna.
There you go.
There's things falling off of it.
Exactly. It's just...
It's like 8 pieces of bacon stuck to the side with Scotch tape.
It's huge.
That is bigger than your face. I can't see your face.
Exactly. It's huge. It's a huge burger. And I told... and everyone, Claudia, knows about Infused Restaurant. Unfortunately, the professor doesn't because I didn't take him.
I don't believe it really exists.
It does exist. And during the course of this show, I will be eating that particular burger along with the fries. I want to put it right here just in case he shows up. Now, you all have actual video proof. Dave Milner and Mamba, White Mamba, let them know without a shadow of a doubt that we have the infused burger, the exceptional one, right here. Double bacon, double burger. It's as big as my face. I will be eating that during the course of tonight's New Day Black and Red show.
I'm not saying a word because the last time that caused a feud, he went out and he did something with a pizza.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
And I got dragged in the middle of it. Yeah.
So I want to add.
I still got the scars on my hand from the last time I ate with you.
Claudia's in the chat room saying 4 people can eat off of that.
Yeah. Well, 4 humans.
But of course,
spill that orange juice.
The professor.
Screwdriver you're drinking?
That's what I'm drinking.
Reverend?
That's what
What are you drinking, Reverend?
I'm drinking. Reverend's drinking orange juice. Winkety wink.
Hey, listen. I have something very disturbing I need to talk with you.
Okay.
And that is that you were having technical difficulties on a show a while back. I don't know. Was it last week?
It was last week. It was last Wednesday night.
Yeah. And you quit right off the bat and said everything isn't perfect and everybody hates me. I'm going to go home and eat some worms, right?
I didn't say I was going to eat worms.
Yeah. Everybody hates me. No one loves me. I'm going to eat some worms. Fat ones, juicy ones, sniffy, lippy, squeaky ones, sniffy, lippy, ippy worms.
Oh my God! I had a tough night, and Mary was there, and yours, Arena, my bouncer in chief, she witnessed it, and I was late getting it started because of technical difficulties.
Late to your show?
Yes. Can you imagine that?
So missing shows, being late to shows, and then canceling shows. I think that's a cry for help.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
I think you're crying out, someone help me. So you need to get help.
No. Standing up in front of 750, 300, no, it was like 500,000 people.
Who's counting the people, Trump or you?
No, this is not Trump. Standing up in front of 500,000 people, trying to wear the same outfit you had in 1984 and telling women that you thought about blowing up the White House, that's a cry for help.
Yeah, that is a cry for help. Yes. And it's going to be very difficult when she moves to Canada or wherever she said she was going to move because all the oral sex she gave away didn't help Hillary win.
You know, which I don't know if that's a statement about Hillary or is it a statement about her?
It's a statement about all of themselves. You know, the 1 million pound march didn't seem to be very successful. You know, I say the 1 million pound march because you had to be at least 200 pounds to even go.
Yeah.
And, those were the skinny ones. And I mean, oh my gosh. How do you find vagina clothing for that many people?
Wow.
I mean, you know, vagina hats, vagina outfits. Is there really that kind of a market for vagina clothing?
Well, actually, I think they're really selling off the hook today. I mean, everyone now wants to walk around with a vagina, even the guys.
I'm thinking about buying one because it seems to be the easiest way into getting one is to just buy you an outfit.
Yeah.
But now let me ask you this. Let me ask you.
You want to ask me something?
I am. If someone walks up to you wearing a hat or an outfit that resembles a giant vagina, are you going to listen to them, debate with them seriously, or take anything they say seriously, or to the point where you may actually change your opinion on whatever it is that they're trying to convince you of?
Oh no. First, if you could pick me off the ground from laughing.
Yeah. I would do rude things to them, like, walk around like a giant penis.
But actually, okay, I'm going to go there, and then we have to go to a commercial. And people,
I knew I'd get you there.
if you are offended by what I say, you can always write letters to Ken at theexceptionalconservativeshow.com. I'm willing to take your abuse. But having a head point out on the side of a vagina, does that look like gonorrhea or what? I'm just saying.
Well, it looks like Nancy Pelosi to me.
Oh, there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to New Day Black and Red, and trust me, we do get into constitutional and spiritual viewpoints. When we come back from the break, we're going to begin that. A conversation about defending the Second, the Fourth, and the Ninth and 10th Amendments from a judiciary from judicial tyranny.
Man, that sounds like it's going to be a good show. I can't wait to hear it.
Me either. and I hear they get
commercial.
And I hear they got 2 ministers to do it too on the program. Wow.
What?
Yeah.
I gotta go get my vagina hat, so play the commercial.
We'll be right back, peeps. We'll be right back. Oh my God. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
From day's first light till night's last glimmer, your satisfaction is our responsibility. On the range or in the field of duty, you can rely on Brownell's lifetime guaranteed gun parts, tools, and supplies. Anytime, any place. It's how we've done business since 1939. Brownell's.
Hi, my name is Christopher Arnold. I'm the executive chef of Infused Restaurant, and today I'm going to walk you through some of the meals that we prepare here. We're making a pizza. We use fresh Italian sausage that we cook here and slice it up. Our pizza dough is in-house made. Our pizza sauce is in-house made. So everything is fresh and green. This is our Thai curry chicken. The sauce is made with coconut milk and the Thai red curry. It is juicy chicken thighs as well as some mixed vegetables, served with jasmine rice and pita bread.
Sure, if your mouth closed.
So now we're going to prepare our famous blackened tilapia and grits, our fish and grits on the menu. Fish and grits, and our meal will be complete. Let me tell you about our infused beef burger. We kick the spice up just a little bit with our infused sauce. We start off with 80-20 USDA ground chuck ham patty burgers, like half a pound of burgers, and we're going to grill it to perfection. After I flip the burger, we add the sauce and let it cook on into the meat just a little bit.
Super.
We're going to add a little bit of pepper jack cheese to this burger. Spice it up a bit.
Why isn't that working?
All right.
I'm sorry. But even the lettuce is big on that burger. Go to the front page of the exceptionalconservativeshow.com. Go all the way down to the bottom. You will see.
That is just wrong. You need to tuck all that in your mouth before you chew.
I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness. That's the biggest burger I think I've ever seen.
It's as big as my face. It really is.
Hold it up for everybody again. I'm going to show the guys on Periscope this burger.
This is the exceptional one. When you go to Infused Restaurant, tell them that you listen to the Exceptional Conservative Show and you want the exceptional one. It is double bacon, double burger. You just heard the description of the burger. Look how big that bad boy is. Okay? You can literally feed 4 families with this burger. Right here. Okay? For those on live stream, you're looking at it too. It's as big as my face, or at least was before I started eating on it.
And that's after you've eaten half of it.
No, I've only eaten maybe even a tenth of it. It is a huge burger. Absolutely huge. 6339 Allentown Road, Temple Hills, Maryland. Claudia can vouch for
Home
me.
value is up and interest rates near all time.
Claudia in the chat room can vouch for me. It is a wonderful place to eat and have fun and enjoy yourself. I knew that question was coming about how much it costs. That burger costs, I think, about $15.
$15.
Yep. That's
So, what is that up in Washington, D.C.? About 1 minute's worth of work?
it. Yeah.
Minimum wage?
Minimum
You guys
wage,
get
yeah.
paid a lot up there, don't
That's
you?
an hour right there. But
I was going to say, that's $15. That's a lot of money for a burger.
well, no, for one burger, because you can spend $15 on a burger, but that's $15 for double the bacon, double burger. It is huge. It is humongous. And after this show, I'm going to finish eating it. And I noticed that White Mamba is not here. Deborah, love you. Glad to have you here tonight. Who's checked in, the underground professor in the chat room. But I noticed that 2 people that were going to hold my feet to the fire are not here right now. White Mamba,
That's right.
and Dave Milner. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you on the front page, yeah, it's about 2 pounds of ground beef. It is. Each one is about a pound, maybe a little bit over a pound of ground beef.
There's a pound of bacon on there alone, a whole rasher.
Exactly, it is. It is a pound of bacon on there. So this is about 3 pounds of meat. For if you love your man and you want him to have protein, you take him to Infused Restaurant, 6339 Allentown Road, Temple Hills, Maryland. And this is what I'm going to tell you to do. On the front page of the ExceptionalConservativeshow.com, go down. You can scroll down. You'll see the chef, who is a wonderful man, Chef Arnold. And also Christine and Derek Williams, they own the place. You'll see what the menu is. That menu is exceptional. And I had earlier, I ate them all, and I do apologize. I wanted to show them to you. I had catfish nuggets. Oh my God, they are.
You're eating a 10-pound hamburger and you already had catfish nuggets.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
How does that catfish feel that he no longer has his nuggets?
It was his fault. He was getting a divorce, and he lost his nuggets in the divorce.
Yeah. Hillary kept them in a lockbox. Right? For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Infuse Restaurant named a burger after my friend here, which is this guy right here, the one that looks like Urkel. He's the Exceptional Conservative out of Washington, D.C. We're doing a show called Radio in Black and Red, or Red and Black. I'm not sure which is important tonight. And we're talking about a hamburger that was named after him.
The exceptional one, New Day Black and Red. It's a show. And my great host, Dr. Michael Jones. Want to thank the great people from England who have tuned in tonight to listen to us as well. When you come to America, stop at 6339 Allentown Road, Temple Hills, Maryland. That burger, and I've shown everybody, if I can show it one more time, that burger, I don't know if I can, oh my God, that burger is the size of my face. It really is. The French fries. 6339 Allentown Road, Temple Hills, Maryland. It is the size of, and my face, the professor will tell you, is pretty big. So,
He's got a big head.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. The catfish nuggets were excellent. My wife got the green spring rolls. Their collard green spring rolls is what she got. She loved them. She also had a salad from there. They have a black bean burger.
That's a salad on that burger, by the way.
You ain't lying. You are not lying, Professor. That is a lot of lettuce and a lot of tomato. That is like half the garden right there.
Yeah. Right there. I'm telling you, you got everything a man needs, a whole day's worth of food right there.
Right there. Right there.
Now, if you have a girlfriend in Valentine's Day or a wife or something, you put a ring on it. But if you have a man and he's worth keeping, you put an exceptional burger on it.
Yep. Order the exceptional one. And don't let them tell you that you can't get the exceptional one. You can get it.
No, that's right. It's easy. You can get them.
Yeah, you can get them. All you need to do is say, I want the exceptional one. I listened to the Exceptional Conservative Show. I want the exceptional one. Double bacon, double burger. The burgers, and Claudia was right, they're about a pound, a little over a pound each.
Yeah,
the professor, and the professor's right, it's about a pound of bacon on that burger right there. Along with...
Did you say England?
Yep.
There can't be too many people in England. It's like 135 in England.
Well, actually, they are from Stratford upon Avon. Stratford upon Avon, England. There you go.
I've been there before. Beautiful place.
Really?
Really? Yep. I love Stratford. It's a nice place. Great fish and chips.
So Mary
stayed at a little place, and we had a plowman's breakfast, and it was like toast with an egg in the middle of it, and Bancap's beans and sausage and bacon, and there was like 3 kinds of sausage, and then a big whop of mashed potatoes. Hey, Mike. And so that was something. Not the kind of breakfast we eat here, I'll tell you.
Yeah, exactly. Now I'm going to let you all know, if you invite the professor and I to speak in whatever country you're in, you got to feed us. I don't think you have to pay us, but you got to feed us.
Hey, you have to be nice to us as long as the food's good.
Exactly. I don't care what you say to me in your language, as long as you feed me well. I know.
Before we waste the whole show,
we
might want to talk about what you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough. Let's go back to this.
I do apologize. As you are listening to New Day Black and Red, we give you a constitutional as well as a scriptural viewpoint of today's affairs. And Deborah saying it's so good. All right, so you've eaten there before, or I hope that you've eaten there. I know Claudia has, but I'm telling you, Infused Restaurant, 6339 Allentown Road. Order the exceptional one. You won't regret it. You'll be able to eat for days.
How many commercials are we going to do for them tonight?
That's the last one. That's the last one.
That's like a week's worth.
Yeah, but it's a week's worth of food right there.
Are they going to see it free?
Of course not. No. I haven't. No, when I start having listeners like you from around the world listen to me, then I'll start getting my stuff for free.
Well, I'll tell you what. Quid pro quo, my friend. Quid
pro quo. I want to start with you tonight, Professor, on...
Not quid mofo.
No pro at all.
Not on this show.
And whatever the professor tells you, I did not almost bite his hand off at a restaurant. Whatever, don't listen to
it was a fork you stuck in it. Look at the scars. The people on Periscope can see it. I kid you not.
Oh, man. Earlier tonight, the mayor of Miami-Dade County down in Florida, IA,
first, didn't they?
Fearing, Carlos Jimenez is the mayor of Miami-Dade, fearing the loss of millions of dollars for defying immigration authorities, Miami-Dade Mayor Carlos Jimenez on Thursday ordered county jails to comply with federal immigration detention requests, effectively gutting the county's position as a sanctuary for immigrants in the country illegally. Jimenez cited.
Take a guess, Ken.
Uh-huh.
Was it because it's the right thing to do to follow the law?
Yes.
Or was it because Trump said we're cutting off your money?
No. So don't be like that. Oh, sarcasm. No, don't be. He really fundamentally had a change of heart. It was like Christ came to him in the middle of the night and said, "Gee, Mr. Jimenez, you know you're wrong. Change this." And he said, "Oh, Ave Maria. Obviously, I am wrong, and thus I must change." And thus, today, they changed.
And plus, Pharaoh's heart was softened.
Yeah. And you're right. It was not Pharaoh's heart. It was probably going to be his wallet.
Yes.
In light of...
Governor Abbott down here in Texas has asked the state legislature to give him power to go after state officials, elected officials like sheriffs and whatnot, that run sanctuary cities and then remove them from office. He doesn't have that power now, but he's asking for it. I'm not real sure I like that idea, to be honest. But I do think that the plans that the state legislature in Texas has of cutting off sanctuary cities from any state funding, and Trump cutting them off of federal funding, which is actually national funding, not federal, but that's what they call it nowadays.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty good because you starve them, and they're what's the one thing, Ken, that we all know is that politics is the religion of the left.
Yeah,
and politics needs money. Mother's milk of politics is money. And if you take the money from them, then they are going to starve and scream like whiny little hungry babies that they are. And they will start complying with the law because it will become more important for them to get money than it is for whatever principles that they are proposing that they are standing for.
Exactly. I want to alert everyone that there is a serious question here that I'm surprised that the Miami-Dade mayor decided what he decided. And the question is, what is the role of the federal government in terms of state rights? And do states even have rights anymore since they don't have representation in the U.S. Senate any longer?
Wait. How long you listened to the Underground Professor?
I've listened to you forever, sir.
Years.
For years.
So you already know the answer without saying states. You went on to say, do states still have rights?
Yeah.
And then you started to give a caveat that you already know the answer to that question.
Yeah, but maybe the audience doesn't know the answer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you got me. Yes.
I've only been doing this for 30 minutes. So
that's just one of my bugaboos when people say states' rights.
Exactly. Tell them why states' rights is a bugaboo.
One of the guys on my Periscope, when we were talking about these progressives, from the sanctuary cities, he said, "Yeah, but they get to wear vagina hats on their head." Exactly. Well, states can't have rights. What is a state? It's it's property. It's right. It's land. It's Texas. It's New York. It's Chicago. States don't have rights. People have rights. Rights come from God. Land does not have rights. Guns. You hear about gun rights. Well, guns don't have rights. People have rights. And when we say things like states' rights, then we are adding to the misunderstanding of what a right is and where it comes from. And then it's easier to believe that our government gives us rights. Like Obamacare, when the legislature up there said that they were giving us new rights, if you remember that statement. And they, of course, can't do that. It's not their purview. It's not their ability to give new rights. And I quite frankly don't want them giving me rights, because then that also presupposes that they can take my rights away. And
Exactly.
these rights were founded on God and what He gave us, and we need to go back to to knowing that. And so states don't have rights. States have protections,
Mm-hmm.
and as a state, the citizens of the state have rights, but states don't have rights.
Mm-hmm.
It's just an easy way of describing that our state is sovereign
Mm-hmm.
by saying that states have rights. The pug's name is Olive, AHLIV. I've got Olive in my lap, by the way, Ken.
Oh, wait a minute.
I put him down and put Olive up.
Oh, well, wait a minute. What about there was another one who was in line for the throne? Who right before the little one was adopted.
Well, Olive is the one that I adopted.
No. No.
Yeah.
Remember the really very sweet, the blind dog.
Well, I have Mandy Sue. You talking about?
Yeah, Mandy Sue.
Was on all the shows.
Exactly, Mandy Sue. Now,
Yeah.
Mandy Sue was always being prodded out of your lap, or at least there were attempts by another one. What was the name of that dog?
Oh, well, that's Winston.
Yes.
The one-eyed terrier. Yeah, I've got the door shut, so he can't come here and do that right now.
So Winston has been succeeded by Olive.
Yes.
What
Sadly, Winston is second again.
Man, you got a Shakespearean theater going on there. What happened?
I'll talk about it. This is a tempest in a teapot, let me tell you. And when Winston gets involved, there's usually much ado about nothing on a midsummer night.
Poor Winston. I want to read to you The Rights of Colonists as Men by Samuel Adams very quickly. I want to go over some of these particular points. He said, among the natural rights of the colonists are these. First, a right to life. Second, to liberty. Thirdly, to property. Together with the right to support and defend them is the best manner they can. These are evident branches of, rather than deductions from, the duty of self-preservation, commonly called the first law of nature. Nature's law, this whole idea that a president from his lovely abode on 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue literally can sign a piece of paper and say that laws or rights can be given or can be taken away. Is that covered in the U.S. Constitution somewhere? I mean, is that right?
Well, it's covered in the fact that they can't do it. They don't have the power to do that, because it's not part of the enumerated powers that were specifically listed that gave them the authority to do what they can and cannot do. But think about this. Mm-hmm. This isn't in a vacuum. Adams listed three things: life, liberty, and property. And then you have a right to defend those three things. What does the Declaration of Independence say? And what did the Constitution say about those three things? All of those documents talk about life, liberty, and property. Mm-hmm. The pursuit of happiness was used in the Declaration of Independence, as we know, because Thomas Jefferson, they used that. That was a vernacular term back then that was used because if they had said property, then that would have been used by the South to claim, by the Democrats of the South to claim that slavery. That blacks are property, and therefore we have a right to pursue that too. And so they changed it to happiness in order to convey the message that they needed to convey. But the ideas that they got here on life, liberty, and property comes from a Scottish Enlightenment philosopher named Lord Keynes. Mm-hmm. Your turn.
No, I thank you. Drink merrily, for this might be your last hour. I just want to say that I'm very, very pleased that you made reference to the fact as to why Thomas Jefferson did not use the Adam Smith type term of of property. but the pursuit of happiness, because he actually did a draft of the Declaration of Independence, which virtually would have freed the slaves.
Yes.
So it was
that got scratched out quick.
Exactly, but it was Thomas Jefferson whom from the very beginning wanted to free the slaves, and unfortunately didn't do it during his terms in office either. It came much later at the cost of many blood stains and much tearing in our Civil War. But nevertheless, life, liberty.
4 million Southerners lost their lives.
Yeah.
In the war of northern aggression.
Exactly. But life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, better known as property, are the dimensions which are protected because we have a natural right to those, a right given to us by God and protected by men. Unfortunately, there is the alternative thinking or philosophy that these rights were not given by God, who is sovereign, to men that they might be sovereign, but they must be subjected to a throne or a group of people who are embodied and enlightened to rule over us. And unfortunately, we have that perspective, or have had that perspective in America since about 1920, somewhere around when Woodrow Wilson came to power and helped form the original United Nations in its own League of Nations pursuit. And then from that point on, we began to see liberalism, progressivism, Marxism, socialism, communism explode upon this particular nation. And once where men and women didn't want to go to Washington, D.C., the swamp land, to serve in Congress or the Senate, now they fight like dogs trying to raise as much money as they can to do so because they have the authority vested in them by the people to overthrow the Constitution. And that's where I wanted to get in touch with you today regarding not just the sanctuary laws, which I really believe they should be changed, but I think they should be done at the local level and at the state level. But
they're unconstitutional.
Huh?
They're unconstitutional.
Yeah.
And they violate the 14th Amendment.
No, they do, but I agree with you on that. But I would love for the men and women in their states and their cities to say this is a local matter, because I really believe that immigration can sometimes be a local matter. And
yes, so I don't think the central government needs to be involved in that at all. It's a state function.
Exactly. Exactly.
And not a local function. It is a state function, not a local function.
Well, yeah, I agree with you in that regard, but I would love local people in Miami-Dade to say this is just stupid, this is unconstitutional, and we're not going to even bother the state to do this. We're just going to overturn it. We don't need a court to back us up on that one or to fight us on this one. It's just wrong. It's unconstitutional. Let's not do this. Like, for instance, Mayor Muriel Bowser in Washington, D.C. followed the gentleman who happens to be my council member, Vincent Gray now. He was mayor, now he's a council member after FBI investigation, which is the only way that you can become a city council member. You have to be under FBI investigation. Apparently,
well, probably a resume enhancer up in Washington, D.C.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You got street cred now. So he wrote an executive order to make D.C. a sanctuary city. She, earlier this year, wanted to use $500,000 of taxpayers' money to fight to keep illegal aliens in the city of Washington, D.C.
This is the same one who wanted to pay criminals not to commit crimes?
Same one. So
see a trend here?
See a trend? Exactly. So the whole concept is you would hope that people would read the Constitution and believe the Constitution and understand why Samuel Adams and the Founding Fathers were willing to go to war against Great Britain, that their sovereign rights might be kept and that they might be free from the impendings of a monarchy. And so I say all that to say this. We're concerned about the 9th and 10th Amendment now, and hoping that the current president of the United States of America would begin turning this country back towards, he may not do it completely in his terms, maybe someone that follows him, but turn us back towards a state oriented function of governance where the rights of men are respected, the state's governing authority is respected as individuals, and that we would no longer choose to put at risk our Second Amendment and our First Amendment. Professor?
Well, it'll take more than 4 to 8 years to reverse 150 years of degradation to our Constitution. But yeah, you hear these guys say things, and you think, yeah, right. They're gonna devolve power. I mean, Trump's inauguration speech, and he says he's going to put power back to the people. And I thought, okay, one more time we hear it. Ronald Reagan didn't get very much of that done, but he got something done, so there's that. And I was thinking, maybe Trump will get something done, and we can look and say, yeah, at least he moved it a little bit, kept it from losing even more. But my goodness, since Trump's been in office, I actually start to believe that he might do it.
Mm-hmm.
That he might actually start devolving government back to the people. And I'm starting to get super excited about the Trump administration. And you know how I've been for the last year.
Yeah, I'm still guardedly cautious. I really am. I'm concerned about tariffs. I'm concerned because tariffs is really a property tax against people here in the U.S.
Yeah.
It really is.
I don't like that idea.
Yeah.
But, look at the Dow's going up over 2,000, right? He's going to repatriate money back into this country by lowering the tax rate on all this, these billions of dollars that's floating out there that we can't touch, because if they bring it back to the country, they lose, half of it to the tax rate.
Mm-hmm.
So they won't. And that will fund the country with capital. And with that money funding the country with capital, they'll be able to actually do new capital investments, which will help keep inflation down, while we are growing the economy at over 3%, which the Fed will have to worry about, with the inflation. And
Yeah.
I think this will help keep that down, because we'll actually we'll be creating real jobs, and there is such a huge amount of people not working or pursuing work anymore out there that are on government dole to fill these jobs, and I don't think that will drive wages up. So I think that we are in a position right now to really do amazing things with
90 seconds.
And so, and then to see that Paul Ryan is actually helping Trump instead of being a dick like I expected him to be.
Yeah.
Kind of surprises me. So,
But
I'm moving from guardedly optimistic to hopeful.
I hope to follow you, but I'm really concerned about the recent tete-a-tete
60 seconds.
with Mexico. And God bless you all who are tuned in tonight to New Day Black and Red with the underground professor, Dr. Michael Jones, and his sidekick and peon-in-chief, Ken McClinton. Thank you all so much for listening to us on Blog Talk Radio. Did I do good, sir?
Yeah. And then the Mexican thing.
Yeah.
The president of Mexico and that corrupt government, which is why there are so many destitute and poor Mexicans.
Mm-hmm.
The president, and of course Vicente Fox and his potty mouth has been out there causing problems, but the president himself has come out and said, I may not come to America for my visit because Trump is out there saying we're going to build a wall, as if Mexico has anything to say about that. They have,
Yeah.
I thought he was going to come out and say, you tear down your southern wall and we'll talk about you coming to visit.
Yeah.
But instead, Trump says, you know what? If you're not prepared to come here and tell me how you're going to pay for the wall we're building, then you might as well not even come. That surprised me, because I expected them to cave in and to worry about offending the Mexicans like we always do, and and forgetting that it's our sovereignty was on that. So Trump is sticking with his thing, that America has sovereignty and we have a right to protect it, and he's correct in this. And I really don't care who pays for the wall or how they pretend that it's paid. It doesn't matter. It's our country and it's our responsibility to pay for it. And I'm with him if he wants to tax the living crap out of money that leaves America and goes down to Mexico, from Western Union. I have no problem slapping a 25% tax on that.
Exactly.
And repatriate that money back here. And I also think he should earmark any city that is a sanctuary city, all central government monies that are dedicated, grants, funding, contracts, anything, should be shut off and that money redirected to the building of the wall and completely turn off all funding to sanctuary cities.
Exactly. In addition to that, the Internal Revenue Service should also freeze all ITN claims for earned income tax credit until they are investigated and proven to be true.
Yes.
And that would.
Let me ask you a question real quick, Ken.
Yeah.
There's no way to call into this show tonight because we're doing Radio Black and Red. But my show is on Wednesdays or Tuesday, Thursday, 7 to 8 p.m. And you can call in on that one. Tune in Thursday, 7 p.m. and you'll be able to call in there and talk. But the way the setup is, the way he's in Washington, I'm in Dallas, and we can't set up callers for that. I apologize.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, but you can always go to the exceptionalconservativeShow.com, to the Euro Pacific Bank Limited TECN chat room. You can go in there.
Yeah.
And hey, we got some great folk up in that camp, and the great conversations go on at the same time. And wherever you are around the world, you can sign in. Up to 100 people can get into that particular chat role, and you can conversate. You can ask questions. We address those questions that are asked as they come up. White Mamba has entered our chat room this particular evening.
What?
Yeah. Good.
Just so you didn't hear that, the exceptionalconservativeshow.com and the Euro Pacific Bank Limited TECN, the Exceptional Conservative Network chat room is available, and you can get in there and ask a question, and then we'll read it on the air. One of us will read that question on the air if you go that way.
Exactly.
Exceptionalconservativeshow.com.
Now,
all right.
Now, I got to do one thing because I'm taking a commercial break right here.
Oh, good.
Yeah, right here. I have to do this because it's a legal challenge. I was supposed to show today that I have the exceptional one, the burger that was named after me. It is a double burger. Look at that thing. It's about the size of my head. I know it's falling apart here. But it's double burger.
Amongst itself that they could even assemble a burger the size of your head.
Double burger, double bacon. It is absolutely glorious and delicious. And where can you get it? You can get it at Infused Restaurant, 6339 Allentown Road. It is so good. Oh, absolutely delicious. Wow.
I know that's right.
Also, I want to do one other thing since I'm doing commercials. Remember.
Sounds like I'm at a black church.
Yes.
Praise Jesus.
Praise the Lord. Wait a minute. You got to do that dance. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, I did my dance.
Hallelujah.
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 I would run up and down the floor, but that, keep people awake like that. Eva Rosenberg sent me 2 autographed books today. She was on my show on Monday. Okay. It was a wonderful book. Wonderful book.
Returns for Dummies.
Do your taxes for dummies. Yeah, exactly. I want you all to go out there, especially if you own your own radio program or Blog Talk Radio or Spreaker or whatever. And I want you to get these books right here. Deduct Everything by Eva Rosenberg. And Small Business Taxes Made Easy by Eva Rosenberg. Get
the hold up the books again, Ken.
Yes, sir. There we go.
Hold on, I can't get to it. Hold on, give me a second.
Okay.
Small Business Taxes Made. I got to find it now on the screen. There we go.
Okay.
All right, got the first one.
First one is Deduct Everything. Deduct Everything by Eva Rosenberg. And the other one is Small business taxes made easy. If you have your own small business, don't tell me you got a hobby. If you have your own small business, you can deduct a whole lot. There should be a whole lot of money in your pocket doing your taxes. Remember, I've made a commitment that you're going to be more prosperous and more wealthy listening to this program than ever before. Eva Rosenberg helped us do that on Monday night. She'll be back next month, in March, and also in April as we get ready to do taxes. But ladies and gentlemen, if you have your own radio program on Blog Talk Radio or on Spreaker or some other network, some of you all been pushing the metal and been working very hard, and you've been cheating yourselves because you couldn't write stuff off. Get that stuff so you'll know exactly how to write stuff off and do your taxes so you get a bigger refund. All right. So that's my commercials.
Yeah. The healthcare reform is exciting. I don't know. I'm being asked about healthcare reform, Ken.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what they do. I don't want them to repeal and replace Obamacare. I want them to repeal Obamacare.
Yeah.
And I want them to open up competition, crossing state lines. I want them to deregulate it, and I want them to get government out of it. Eliminate the FDA, let the states handle those kind of things, and I think it will drive down prices. And if we were to do all these things, we may even see doctors making house calls again. But who knows?
Exactly. I agree wholeheartedly with you. It's not the role of the federal government to get involved beyond the limitations of commerce across state lines, which health insurance was not doing. So I don't know why that's an excuse for getting involved. Besides the safety and health, which was the access to health care, which was already taking place in the emergency rooms. So I don't know why they were involved in that aspect of it either. Literally, there's very small room constitutionally for the federal government to be involved in health care. And I don't know why, besides the pursuit of socialism and Marxism, that they enjoyed the fact that they instituted the Affordable Health Care Act, which was neither health care or affordable.
No. You know, Megan has Medicaid standard, I think they call it, and no one takes it. You know, there are very few doctors that take it, and then we find out that when we finally found some doctors that would take her, that she's limited to 3 prescriptions a month. No matter how screwed up your body is, they only cover 3 prescriptions. And then we found out that the doctor she was being sent to, that this doctor won't take Medicaid traditional, and you had to have, there's 2 other plans out there for Medicaid, I guess, and that you had to be on a different plan, and that if you did this, then you lose this doctor, but if you were on that plan, then you can get this doctor, but then you don't get these medicines and stuff. And it's like, how do we think we're helping people with this? What we gave them was coverage, but we did not give them care.
Yes.
And so it's impossible to get health care with these Obamacare things that, because they gutted Medicaid. They took, $30 billion out of Medicaid and shoved it into Obamacare. And so it forced people who have zero income, because they're so crippled that they can't work. And I mean legitimately, not people who just don't want to work. And they crippled Medicaid so that these people who cannot physically work cannot get income, and then they can't get Obamacare. And so now they're getting almost no care whatsoever.
Exactly. Because there's some doctors in California, pediatricians, who have a caseload of 10,000. I don't know how you're going to see 10,000 children in 1 year. It's just impossible for you to do that.
If you only see them each once.
Yeah. They're 365 days. If you were to see 8 kids a day, you wouldn't even, you couldn't even scratch the surface of the number of children that you would be expected to see. So, and the number of doctors who have retired to get out of the onerous Medicaid provisions and the extraneous amount of work that you have to do to meet the Department of Health and Human Services standard, or at least the Department of Health Service standards. for Medicare. It's just ominous. It does everything it needs to do to oppress people rather than liberate them. So I agree with you. I don't want to see bureaucrats or politicians or lawyers try to figure out how to handle my health care. That's my responsibility in a personal relationship with my doctor that I choose and that I pay accordingly.
Yeah.
We're talking tonight with Dr. Michael Jones, the underground professor for undergroundprofessor.us, who has a very popular program on Blog Talk Radio and has returned to the air. Yes, he's returned on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. I'm sorry, 7 p.m. Central.
7 Central.
God's time. There we go. Of course, you can listen to the Underground Professor, and he is a wealth of wisdom and knowledge. Certainly, one that cannot be contended with most peers in the urban family. In the conservative marketplace. Also, his
let me just throw the gauntlet down that you guys have had it easy for a month while I was gone. But I'm coming back to claim my #1 urban radio talk show host status. I'm coming back to get it, baby.
You coming back? You promise?
One more thing the white man's going to do to keep y'all down. I'm taking back that spot.
Well, this is what I want to talk with you, and I want to make this public announcement. By affirmative action, I've been told by the federal government that I got to hire a minority.
Yes, so that's where I come in on the radio on Red and Black.
That's right. So I want to figure out how we can get you possibly to come on the TECN network and possibly for a weekend type show. We'll talk about it. But I need a great host on my network. And since you're white, what better, you are white. Yeah. You are white, right?
I am privileged to be white, yes.
Okay, whatever you do, please don't check.
White privilege?
I know. I know. I got that. Whatever you do, please don't check off African American because that could really mess up HR.
Actually, I'm a Native American. And I'm Indian, yes.
Yep. See, there you go. You messed up already because then that doesn't make you a minority in our network.
That being white does, evidently.
Yeah, we already have Senator Pocahontas on our network. Right. So,
black by popular demand, the TECN network.
I want to talk with you.
I think everyone's colored.
Everyone's colored. Everyone's colored.
Yes, I think everyone's colored.
We moved on from Negro to colored. There we go. I am so sick of. I cannot. We're gonna do a show on race. We're gonna have to, because it is phenomenally just ignorant. Why we even talk about it? But
the founding fathers didn't think Indians were anything but white people. They thought Indians were white people.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just figured they were red because of all the red dirt and everything, and they didn't bathe, and the sun, and they figured that's what made them red. But, people say the founders were racist against Indians. Well, the thing was, they thought they were white people. So, that kind of throws that theory under the bus. Back of the bus. Something like that.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. And obviously, see, this is what happens when I open the door for white people to start coming onto the network. There's another white person that wants to come onto the network now.
You should hang on there.
Yeah, exactly.
I won't do anything.
I would love to have Egg on my network.
Well, on weekends, all he does is stack up Dr. Pepper cans and make fortresses out of them. So, yeah.
Oh, he's tired of the video game experience.
There's no experience.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the professor with us tonight, the underground professor. We're going to take a look at a scriptural or spiritual point of view, along with a constitutional point of view at our judicial tyranny in America. Apparently, Professor, we talked earlier about the 9th and the 10th Amendment and why I'm guardedly cautious and you're hopeful regarding this particular presidency, regarding executive writs from 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. But I want to ask you regarding judicial tyranny, should we also be very concerned? And should this president ask for the resignation of every single federal judge that he did not appoint? And I want to start off with your story about the Fourth Circuit and their decision on the Second Amendment.
Well, no, I don't think you should ask for the resignation of all the judges, because that's not how our system works.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that he should ask for the resignation of the entire State Department and the entire departments of agriculture and food and drug and all these other global warming type organizations. I wouldn't have any problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
If I was president, then after my inauguration, while everybody's dancing, I would have gone in there and sent out an executive order for everybody in the executive branch that if you were employed by the executive branch in some way, that you would have to write a letter justifying your job, why you should keep it, and why the government should keep that job.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would begin to learn what everybody does and why they're doing it and how it's necessary or not, and then start getting rid of people. And, you know, he's put a hiring freeze on except for military and national security. And the idea is behind that they're going to start shutting down a lot of these government organizations and jobs and then move people around to fill the vacancies in other places and through attrition. Now, I have heard that the entire Department of Education and the, not the FDA, what's the one with all the environmental weenies in it? I forget now. But the one that our ex-governor here in Texas, whose name I can't even remember, golly, I'm just losing everything right now. What was the, he ran for president, couldn't remember anything, like me.
Energy?
Yeah.
Rick Perry.
Yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Rick Perry, thank you. Department of Energy.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that the employees have come out and said there's like 10,000 of them that are going to resign their job in protest. So I was like, okay, you know, do it.
Would you?
Easier on us.
Would you
It's not going
please?
to make us cry any, you know, for God's sakes. You know, a bunch of liberal progressives, not liberal, but progressives that work for the government are threatening to quit their jobs because Republicans are saying that they shouldn't have jobs. Okay, you know, win-win. So I don't see the problem there.
Is that really
But I think they all should have to justify why they have a job and why they should keep it. And I would wipe out the State Department. Let me tell you why.
Uh-huh.
Because they are the Praetorian Guard of progressive politics. And under Ronald Reagan and both President Bushes, the State Department constantly undermined the will of the president. They work for the president. They are part of the executive branch, but they are filled and riddled with progressives and globalists and people who don't believe in American sovereignty and whatnot. And so they undermined those three Republican presidents with what they were doing, you know, and Ronald Reagan shut them down pretty hard. When, remember when they went to Reykjavik and he got up and walked out and stuff, and the State Department was freaking out that he was doing things that weren't right, that's not how we do it, you know, and of course, what happened, the Soviet Union came to the table and started making honest negotiations with us, and we had the SALT treaties that came out of it and all that. But the State Department tried to undermine them.
Mm-hmm.
Ted Kennedy, as a senator, wrote letters to the Russians through the State Department to try and sabotage Ronald Reagan's presidency. You know, the Russians, who we're all supposed to be afraid of now, right? Because the Democrats don't like them now. So I would purge the State Department. all those rat bastards in there, we don't need them. Even if there are some Republicans and conservatives, just get rid of the whole State Department and rebuild it from scratch. Because, we don't need this president being undermined, especially as volatile as our foreign relations will be under Trump. We need a State Department that's got his back and can tell him the way things really work and what's going on, and not the progressive agenda.
Exactly. And what you're talking about may have happened earlier today, where the entire senior management at the State Department resigned today.
Yeah, they threatened to do it. I didn't know they actually had done it, so that's good news.
Exactly.
But I would imagine, Ken, that, during the period where he was the elect, before the Electoral College had even met, but during that time frame, Trump and his people kept sending letters to the State Department saying things like, we want to know everybody's name who worked on global warming projects. We want to know everybody who did this. We want to know everybody who did that. And so the State Department saw the writing on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And they knew that the Trump administration was getting ready to ID and get rid of all of these people that were bad for this country, that had, other countries' interests at heart more than American interests. And as Trump declared, it's going to be America first from now on. And the State Department is an organization of our government that puts America last. Or if they put America first, it's because they blame America first. Mm-hmm. And I think this is why they all were resigning. From it, is because they realized that it would be a lot easier for them to make a political protest and resign and go out on their terms than to get their butts unceremoniously kicked out for being criminals against the government.
Exactly. We're talking tonight with Dr. Michael Jones, the underground professor.
The unpleasant blind professor.
God.
The barely unpleasant blind professor.
Hey. The unpleasant blind guy is in the chat room, Dave Milner. I apologize, underground professor, Dr. Michael Jones from underground professor.
Yeah, that's the first time you've ever done that.
I know. I think it was the burger. I think it's
you can't see this, but I've got Olive in my lap.
Uh-huh.
And when I put my beard on her, she looks like George Washington. You can see it on the Periscope channel, but you can't see it unless you're on Periscope.
Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, the Underground Professor Show is a show that you need to listen to. And I'm going to do my best to recruit 2 white people to our network this evening, in fact, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And Dave Milner and as well, the Underground Professor, and try to get them to do something on a Saturday or Sunday weekend for the network. See, it pays to be white, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, I'll help you out as long as I don't have to charge on my white privilege card.
Oh my God! And I guess that's in reference to the fact that I don't have my black card. Okay.
Well, you gave it up. They gave you instead of the black card, they gave you the not black enough card.
Not black enough card.
Can you imagine that? Think about what they're saying. You're not legitimate because you're not black enough. So I thought about that. I thought, if Ken is not black enough, does that mean that out of 7 layers of epidermis, and only the top 3 or 4 are actually black,
mm-hmm.
And each one gets paler as you go down, does that mean that you don't have enough black epidermises? Maybe your epithelial cells are just tan enough, or I'm trying to figure this out. Melanin, is that right? Melanin? Is that
I'm missing the melanin. I'm missing the
melanin. Are
melanin.
they saying that all black people are in March step and they can't think for themselves and they have to all be one way? So either way, I don't think it's very flattering to black people to say you're not black enough. I think that's, racist.
Melanin challenge. Thank you, Melanie. I really appreciate that. I've always been melanin challenged. I like Dave's comment.
Is that right? Is Miss Colette? Is that the feminine version of melanin? Is Melanie?
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. I think I ought to create the beige card. I mean, because American Express has the black card.
Yeah.
I need to create the beige card right there. That for all of the Madeline challenged people in the world, you now can go to the store and use your beige card. There you go. Special kind of person for that.
Well, I don't know why they call black people colored anyway. When you're embarrassed, you're black. When you're angry, you're black. When you're tired, you're black. But white people, they turn green with envy. They get red when they're embarrassed. They get mad, they turn red. They get sunburned, they change color. I think white people should be called colored.
Really?
We're the ones with all the different colors. Yeah.
Well, you look that way on the beach.
Well,
yeah.
Except for the bloviating Zeppelin, which makes fish from the deep sea look tan.
Speaking of which, as we're going to the last commercials of the night on New Day Black and Red.
Thank the gods.
Yeah.
Thank the gods.
Hey. This is how we get Sesame Street paid for.
I wish we were paid like Sesame Street.
Oh my God, wouldn't that be great? I would love to be Big Bird right now, but especially after eating that big burger. I forgot the commercial I was getting ready to do.
That doesn't matter. Just play one.
Just play one.
Might as well do Infused again. You've only done that 82 times.
Freedom Fest is coming up in July of this year. And we want you to be there. On the front page of the exceptionalconservativeshow.com, you can go there and you can register today for Freedom Fest. The keynote speaker at Freedom Fest this year will be none other than Captain of Star Trek, William Shatner.
Captain of the Free Enterprise.
The Free Enterprise. That's right. On Star Trek. And
William Shatner.
William Shatner will be there. And you know what? We're working out a deal. And Melanie, don't be fighting over this one. Don't be trying to knock people out of the way. We're going to find out in a few weeks that we will be able to interview William Shatner at Freedom Fest. So this is going to be huge. We're going to have a wonderful time. I'm expecting you all to be there with me. I will be at the Jockey Club.
This will be bigger than Trump's hands.
Yes, huge. It will be huge. And we will be at, not Planet Hollywood this year, we will actually be at the Paris Resort in Las Vegas. It is July 19th through the 22nd, 2017. And there are so many. Steve Forbes will be there. We interviewed him last year. Peter Schiff would be there. Now, Peter Schiff, because of the chat room that you're in. Peter Schiff is the owner of the Euro-Pacific Capital or the Euro-Pacific Bank.
Pretty shifty, if you ask me.
Jennifer Grossman will be there, and also Nick Gillespie and so many others. Colonel Alan West will be there. It's going to be huge. And so I'm encouraging you, go ahead and register today. Get your tickets today. Do what you got to do. Get the room taken care of. The professor came to our lovely suite at the Jockey Club. Did you like the Jockey Club suite, sir?
Yeah. I didn't like the fact that we had to go through the back entrance because of you, but yeah.
Where the kitchen at?
No, that wasn't a bad place, the Jockey Club. They're already sold out, I think.
Yeah, actually, no. I think there are a few more left, just a few more rooms left at the Jockey Club.
Most people like me are going to stay over in the Paris thing.
Exactly. And I believe, Mary, can you tell everybody, where did you stay when you went to Freedom Fest, Mary? And did you have a lovely time? Because Mary is the Professor Czarina and happens to be my bouncer in chief. He was also the first interracial kiss on TV. How about that? All right. Yeah.
Yes, it was. Him and Lieutenant Guevara.
No.
That was a big deal. The censors really freaked out about it.
I thought it was because he kissed the green alien. Wasn't that interracial?
No, It was Uhura was the first one. The green alien came later.
Oh, okay. So we had interspecies as well as interracial.
Right.
He's a man of many firsts.
And he did it all with the shirt on. Which, by the way, if we interview him, we need to make him promise he'll keep his shirt on.
Please keep your shirt on, William. Don't jump across any police cars either. Black Lives Matter will be on the opposite side. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to really encourage each and every one. I think Deborah already got her room. If she's Deborah, can you tell me, did you get your room yet? I think she's coming back to this. And I don't, Melanie, are you going this year? All the people who are going, just let me know in the chat room. I think it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful occasion, and you get to sit on the professor's lap. He will actually be.
Yeah.
But you have to be between the ages of 22 and 40 and meet certain other meet other certain measurement standards. So if you
we'll
do
a little Christmas in July.
Boy, do I have a gift to give. Melanie will be there.
You know, there's been this big controversy over the Park Service photos of the inauguration.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that, you know, of course, they're saying that the crowds were as big and everything, but my first thought was, of course, the inauguration is going to be smaller when all the government workers aren't going to show up because, you know, they showed up. They didn't have to work. They all got a national holiday for the inauguration. They all showed up for Trump's election, or not Trump, Obama's. But if, you know, you're part of the party of government, which is the Democrat Party, and your party just got spanked, and the president is saying he's going to roll back government jobs, would you show up?
No.
So, you know, for me, it figured that instead of them walking out of their offices and walking out into the mall to watch the president's inauguration, they all stayed inside their offices. So it wasn't a surprise to me that there'd be a smaller crowd. What do you say?
You know, I really think it's petty because there has to be something patriotic in you. Despite what happens to you politically, there are certain things that exceed party, that are just naturally party, naturally country, nation first. And I mean, like going to the memorial at Arlington, that's beyond party or politics. That's
they didn't get in there because of politics. Well, they got in there because of politics, but not because of party politics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there are just certain things. The Pledge of Allegiance that we start off with on every show. There are just certain things that I believe that you should put before party, and that you should put before anything else in regards. I believe Memorial Day, Veterans Day, of course, Thanksgiving, Inauguration Day. I think those days are days that you put before because of what they really mean. When you think of Thanksgiving, the original Thanksgiving in our country by Lincoln was based on the fact that we had survived the Civil War. I mean, come on. I mean, we should be more.
I've always believed in God, country, family, and then anything else, you know, you can list.
Exactly. Want to talk with you real quick. The Fourth Circuit Court. What did they do, and why did they piss you off?
No, goodness. I just spent an hour talking about that. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that if you want to exercise your Second Amendment protected right, which, you know, I'm saying the Second Amendment does not give you the right to bear arms. It says the government can't screw with it. Mm-hmm. But if you want to exercise your right to bear arms, according to the Fourth Circuit of Appeals, then you are voluntarily giving up your Fourth Amendment rights. And that you were to be considered, the very fact that you have a concealed carry license or a right to carry license is enough for the government to consider you armed and dangerous and a menace to society, and therefore cops can pull you over for a blinker malfunction, and they can pull you out of the vehicle and frisk you and search your car. And so the castle rules that apply to your vehicle do not apply, and the rights to privacy do not apply. The rights to seizure and search and seizure do not apply from the Fourth Amendment, which requires that evidence and probable cause be presented to an officer of the law. An affidavit or an oath must be taken on it, submitted to a judge with specificity of what they want to inspect and what they are looking for, and then a judge has to issue a warrant. And that is what the Fourth Amendment calls for. And the Fourth Circuit says you don't need that because it's probable cause enough just to know that they may have a concealed weapon, and that makes them a danger to society and a danger to the police, and therefore they can now frisk you and search your vehicle.
Wow.
And my contention is that no matter what your rights are, one right does not ever take away another right. They can't violate each other, or they're not rights.
Mm-hmm. Now,
Right?
I don't understand how the Fourth Circuit could genuinely come up with a reasoning that supports that. That is, in my opinion, just absurd to think that you have that extreme right as a police officer to forego the Fourth Amendment because someone is practicing the Second.
Well, you remember when you called me, I was talking, and I was mentioning something that we give police badges and guns, okay? And yet, when you look at police, according to the Crime Prevention Research Center, out of every 100,000 officers, 124 crimes are committed. But if you look at every 100,000 concealed carry license holders, we committed at roughly 12.5 per 100,000. And so cops are 10 times more likely to commit a crime than a concealed carry license holder. And yet the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals is saying that the cop is more trustworthy to society, and that the very fact that a concealed carry license may have a weapon makes him a danger to society, even though all the statistics show it's actually the opposite, that concealed carry license holders tend to be more law-abiding than cops themselves. Now, to be fair, the general public is 31 times greater than cops in breaking the law. But we're not talking about that. We're not talking about just the general public. We're talking about concealed carry license holders, and they said that to be armed automatically makes you dangerous. And my contention is that it won't be long before they say that anybody that is active duty or served in the military can be considered dangerous simply because we've been trained. And then they'll go and say anybody that takes martial arts classes can be considered dangerous. You know, they don't joke about registering my hands as a lethal weapon. They can do that. Now, I ask you this, and this is something I was presenting on my show, and it's this question. In Texas, over 3,100 people a year, every year, die on Texas roads because of automobile accidents. And we don't have 100 deaths a year from weapons, from guns in Texas. So which poses a greater threat to society, guns or autos? Well, the obvious answer is autos. Now, if the Fourth Circuit, which thank God does not apply to Texas, since we're in the Fifth Circuit, but according to the Fourth Circuit, being armed, you're now considered dangerous. And you no longer have Fourth Amendment rights because of that. I contend this. How do you feel about getting in your car at the mall and you simply start your engine? Is that enough to warrant a cop stopping you and ordering you out of your vehicle, frisking you, and searching your vehicle? Well, of course, no one would say that's, you haven't done anything. All you did was start your engine.
Exactly.
But your automobile is a greater danger to society. You are driving a 2,000-pound weapon, and and you could kill or hurt somebody, and the odds are higher that you will than with your gun. So, which has a higher, likelihood of damaging society? And it's the automobile.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, the Fourth Circuit would certainly not ever come out and tell you that you no longer have Fourth Amendment rights because you started your engine.
So,
and yet, just the very fact that you have a concealed carry license, they say makes you dangerous to society, and therefore you don't have Fourth Amendment rights. If you want to exercise your Second Amendment rights.
But wait a minute. If you go all the way down the road, simply because you have a gun, you are a threat to society.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah, I mean, that's inconceivable. The individuals
Let me read you this. This is from Judge James Wynn. He wrote in concurrence with the majority opinion. He says, in sum, individuals who carry firearms, lawfully or unlawfully, pose a risk of danger to themselves, law enforcement officers, and the public at large. Accordingly, law enforcement officers may frisk lawfully stopped individuals whom the officer reasonably suspect are carrying a firearm, because a detainee's possession of a firearm poses a categorical danger to the officers. That's his basis of that. And so, I mean, that makes no sense.
That doesn't.
This is why we have the Supreme Court, by the way, because then Texas will rule something, and then the Supreme Court will have to deconflict the two. But can you believe that they think that I'm a danger to cops because of a gun? Well, by that logic, cops are a danger to me because.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Since they're 10 times more likely to commit a crime than I am.
So really, in this particular case, for police officers, they can't have a weapon because they are a threat to the sovereignty of the individual. Hence, no one in America should have a gun because then we're all risk.
Except the people that government says can. Now think about this, Ken, because the application goes further. We have the castle law here in Texas. My home is my castle and whatnot. But according to the Fourth Circuit, because, if I had lived in somewhere where the Fourth Circuit resided, and I don't know what states fall in the Fourth Circuit, I forget right now, but you can look it up easily. But here's the thing. Because I'm a concealed carry license holder, if I lived in the Fourth Circuit, then I no longer have protections like the knock and announce law, where cops have to knock and announce their police officers before entering their home, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see it on TV all the time. Police officer, blah, blah. Well, according to the Fourth Circuit, because I may have a weapon in my house, cops can just break down my door without knocking or announcing themselves and come pouring in. Now, I'm going to tell you, that's a good way to get cops killed, and that's a good way to get citizens killed, because what are the cops going to do when I start shooting because someone comes in my house without announcing?
Thank you.
You knock down my door, I'm not going to think twice. I'm going to start shooting and ask questions later. But that's a good way to get everybody hurt and killed.
Exactly.
And it's stupid, and it's dangerous.
For those who are listening tonight on New Day Black and Red with the underground professor, Dr. Michael Jones, and his sidekick peon in chief, Ken McClinton, the exceptional one, you might be thinking, this doesn't apply to me. That's the Fourth Circuit. But if you live in the states of Maryland, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, and West Virginia, that ruling applies to you. So, ladies and gentlemen, you should be uniquely concerned. And I know what you all might want to do is send a little note to Jill Upson. I don't know how they do that with the asterisk kind of thing. Let Jill Upson know because I believe she represents the 68th District of West Virginia in the House there in West Virginia's House or Assembly or whatever. You might want to get in contact with her and let her know. She probably doesn't even know this at this point, that it is the Fourth Circuit that's trying to take away the Second Amendment for the people of West Virginia, for the people of Virginia, for the people of South Carolina and North Carolina, and from Maryland. And you all know how hard Maryland has been working to become the official communist regime outside of Russia. And so I think I'm uniquely concerned that somehow I think there's 3 people on the federal Fourth Circuit, 3 to 5, something like that, can make a decision that can literally take away your natural right to protect yourself.
Yeah. Think about this, Ken, and that is that this is a violation of the 14th Amendment for equal protection in the law. And I say this because it is creating a second-class citizenship for gun owners. I mean, what's next? Are we going to have a gold gun sewn onto our clothing like a Star of David, as we walk around so that everybody knows that we, have a carry license or something?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
The very idea that my government can treat me differently than it does regular citizens simply because I exercise my right to defend myself is just unconscionable. This is not a small thing. This is a ginormous thing that we have not only a government institution, but we have a judicial arm of our government thinking that it can violate our rights simply because we exercise them.
Ladies and gentlemen,
this is un-American.
It is.
And what I want to know is why there aren't people in that district with pitchforks and torches in front of the judicial system, the court, and getting ready to tar and feather them like our founders would have.
Well, this is why. This is my suggestion as to why they don't. They believe that they have elected somebody to office, Donald Trump, and we criticize those on the left for trying to make Barack Obama the Messiah and the King. There are those who are on the right who believe that Donald Trump is a Messiah and a King as well, and believe that because he's in office, everything is better. So now I can go back under my rock and relax and enjoy my life. Everything's going to get better because he's going to take care of that for me. And the fact of the matter is, you have to be as vigilant now as you ever were. And quite frankly, if you're not vigilant, even with the best of conservatives in office, your rights can be stolen from you.
Yeah, and that's what this is doing. This is taking away your rights as a citizen through judicial action. They don't have the authority to make a decision like that. And the real crime isn't that they did it; it's that citizens are allowing it to stand.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen,
this should have caused us to go out in the streets and go crazy. We should have put on, those big foam hats, the big Texas foam hats or gun hats or something instead of vagina hats.
Exactly.
And we should have gone out and protested. Yeah.
Exactly. And I want you all to know that we will have on sale next week some vagina hats. They were left at the Capitol. We picked them up. We will sell them to you. You can have them. They've only been worn once. That's what she told me. So,
still virginal.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me talk with you a few moments about justice and the justice of God. I want you all to remember, as we give a constitutional viewpoint, that we also give a spiritual viewpoint. And in that spiritual viewpoint, I want you to remember what we talked about earlier from Samuel Adams, his writings regarding what the natural rights of man were. And tomorrow, I'll be downtown with hundreds of thousands of others as we protest Planned Parenthood and the abortion industry around the world.
I think you're going to get the same coverage?
Probably not. We'll be criticized for slowing down traffic or something, literally. But while the left may actually jump onto 295 and shut down traffic on all 6 lanes, if we cross the street tomorrow, we'll be accused of being slightly anti-patriotic. But God, in his wisdom, uses us to grant justice here on earth. The one thing I want you to know is that God is perfect and we're not. If we could only be a 10th perfect, as God is, I doubt very seriously if we would have many of the issues and concerns that we have today. That perfection of his nature is actually the source of the laws of our nature. And the law of our nature allows us to protect ourselves, to protect life, to protect the rights and liberties of others, and to pursue wealth and property. I want you to know that God imposes his laws on his creatures and he executes them righteously. Now, it doesn't matter how many laws on whether the right or the left of politics get passed. Sometimes there's always a drop of the football. Maybe the law isn't written the right way and conclusively. It's so vague that it doesn't touch anyone or anything. Sometimes the laws are written just perfectly, but there's no funding of those particular laws, and thus it's null and void. There might be others from the legislative end that provide the funding, also provide a great law, but the execution of it at the executive level isn't done well because of bias or prejudice or fear. And then sometimes we have a tyrannical judiciary that seeks to do its own will and not ours. You see, justice is not optional in terms of God's will. In fact, they always sing the song that we should hold on to God's unchanging hand. Well, justice is where we find him most unchangeable. His very nature is that he will do what he says he will do. He is moral, which means that not only does he perform righteously, but he is righteous in and of himself. I want you to understand as well that while God so loves the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whomsoever believeth in him will not perish, but have eternal life. You have to understand that a God so just that he would offer his Son as the propitiation of his sin of men, uh, his only begotten Son, for those who are listening to us in Muslim nations. His justice is already reigned. You see, while he did not come to condemn the world, he came to set the course by which you would understand why you may or may not be accepted beyond this world. It is his choice and not ours. You see, a lot of people believe that if they knock on your doors, if they sing enough songs, if they go to church every week, if they give a little something extra in the tithe, that because they've done these things, justifiably, God has no reason to separate himself from us. But God makes it very clear in Romans chapter 8, in inspiration to Paul, that we have all fallen short of the glory of God, meaning that we have all sinned. And no matter how good we try to be, we will never be perfect. We continue to sin even after we know Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. But because you believe in his Son, you also believe that if you ask, he is so righteous and just as to forgive you of your transgressions against him. In Psalms chapter 89, verse 14, it's written, "Justice and judgment are the habitation of thy throne. Mercy and truth shall go before thy face." I know when my time comes, I pray that I have a very good attorney named Jesus Christ in front of me. After all the ills that I have committed on this earth, after all the things that I have done wrong, I can tell you right now, justifiably, Ken McClinton does not deserve to go to heaven in and of himself. But what I am graced with is a God who loves me so much that he's willing to sacrifice for my sins and give me his signet ring that I might be joint heir with him in heaven as well as on earth. James writes Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. I want y'all to understand that there are a multitude of temptations in this world. Every single day you open your eyes, you're tempted by what you see. You're tempted by what you hear. You're tempted by what you feel, by what you taste, especially for those ladies who are trying to slim down for Valentine's Day. And you're also tempted by the things that you think. You see, your feelings and your emotions sometimes take you to places that you should not go. But God has given you and me here on earth the authority and the power to endure temptation, not succumb to it. He says that if you receive the crown of life, it's because you have been tried by temptation and you've overcome it. Now, in 2 Timothy, verse 4 and 8, it's written, henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day, and not to me only, but unto all them also that love his appearing. One day we shall go before the throne of God. One day we shall see our Creator face to face. And what you may find is that the same Creator that is referenced to in the Declaration of Independence and obliquely referred to in the Constitution will see you as you are. At least as you are in the eyes of his Son, Jesus Christ. You see, them that believe in Jesus have already assured themselves true justice on the other side. Now, I'm not telling you that things will be easy here. They're not. There will always be injustices. There will always be people on death row who are innocent. There will always be guilty people sitting in a church. But what we all have is an opportunity to know what righteousness and what perfection really is when it comes to justice. That someone so moral and so true loves us so much that he's willing to forsake the execution of the law that we might be found in his grace, the extended mercy of true love.
Yes.
Professor, your final
Yes.
thoughts for the evening.
Well, thanks for waking me up.
Yes, sir. That's my job.
This is the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 1 fire where Roger Chaffee, Gus Grissom, and Ed White burned up in a flash fire during the countdown. And I'd just like to remind people that freedom isn't free and that you risk a lot to be a pioneer, to fight for things that are right, just like these guys did. You know, they went out and they were doing something that people had just never done before. And they did it with bravery and professionalism. And my hearts go out to them still, you know, and their families. But they paved the way for others
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio.
to do what they did. And this country is built upon the bravery and sacrifice of its men and women, of those that are desiring to live a better life, to provide a better life for their families, and to live free of government intrusion. We were founded on that. We were born in blood on that. And we struggle to maintain it, to regain it.
Wow.
The fight was not over when we elected Trump.
Yep.
All we did was win one little battle. We still need to fight and push because they're going to fight and push. You can see the crazy that they're doing, the vagina hats, the protests, the flag burnings, the destruction of property. What they have not expected is that we are fighting back too. calling a call of arms to people in this country. Not necessarily weapons, but not necessarily violence, but to stand up and defend and protect your rights, to defend and protect your Constitution, and defend and protect your families, and to stand with us, because we're standing out in front for you. We're asking you to step up and stand with us, link arms, and protect this country, its ideals, and your rights.
Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, New Day Black and Red. You can find us every Thursday night at 9:05 p.m. Eastern Time on Spreaker, and as well Blog Talk Radio through the Underground Professor Show. The Underground Professor, Dr. Michael Jones, his peon-in-chief, Ken McClinton, the Exceptional Conservative. Just so glad to have had you all here. We look forward to you coming back. I want you all to remember, if you don't remember anything else that we said tonight, God bless America. It's time for America to bless God. Good night, Professor.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah,
Toodles.
I got a woman way over town that's good to me. Oh yeah, say I got a woman way over town, good to me. Oh yeah, she give me money when I'm in need. Yeah, she's a kind of friend indeed. I got a woman way over town that's good to me. Oh yeah, she says I love it early in the morning just for me. Oh yeah, she says I love it early in the morning just for me. Oh yeah, she says I love it just for me. Oh, she loves me so tenderly. I got a woman way over town that's good to me. Oh yeah. She's there to love me both day and night. Never grumbles or fusses, always treats me right. Never running in the streets and leaving me alone. She knows a woman's place is right there now in her home. I got a woman